Hello, it's Chrissy here, and I just wanted to share with you 5 steps to take when the World Wide Web is down in your business. So for those of you that don't know, I started working for my parents at the age of 9, and they were from the old school that they did not have computers or technology in any way, shape, or form. And they did not allow a budget for it because they didn't believe in it, just because they didn't know. So as a very young child, I started introducing technology and the internet to them, and that came along with being the one responsible of implementation and operation of it. So, it's one of those, be careful what you wish for. But I do have to say that all those years of doing that has gained me so much knowledge that I've used in all of my businesses since then, and it has become a valuable asset. I remember the first time I went to network their business, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no official training or schooling. I did it all, and it was before YouTube, or at least that I knew of YouTube. It was, I literally figured it out as I went. So definitely the school of hard knocks is how I learned. But anyway, I just had another issue at our antique mall where our World Wide Web was not working for them in the office and or the checkout systems. So we had to deal with that, and it made me think about, I've dealt with this issue so many times in all my businesses that it's a real regular occurrence that maybe somebody else could use some 5 simple steps to start with to check what the actual problem is when you do not have the World Wide Web. So you're gonna see me look down because I am not a techie, I am not an analytical, I am a fly by whatever comes out of my mouth type of person. So to do this type of a video is very out of my comfort zone and out of my realm because I have to look at notes for sure. So I would like to share with these 5 steps to take when the World Wide Web is down. And let's start with number 1. So my number 1 step for checking when the World Wide Web is down is to first eliminate your device from being the problem. So this could be your laptop, your cell phone, your desktop, whatever device that you're working on or having the connection issues with. And most of us have multiple devices. So the first step you should take is to check if your other devices are having the same issue as well. If just one device is having the issue and all the other ones are connecting fine to the internet, it's not an internet problem, it's a device problem. That will save you so much time, aggravation, and headache to rule that out. So if it's just a device problem and you're on a time crunch or you're in the middle of something, you can move to a different device, get your work done, and then come back and deal with what is wrong with the device at that time. So that is my step number 1. Step number 2 is let's narrow it down and find out, is it a wireless issue? So if you have multiple devices that are not connecting to the internet, you want to narrow it down, is it just my wireless devices? And for example, let's say you have a cell phone, a tablet, and a desktop. Your desktop may be hardwired into your internet, but your tablet and your cell phone are wireless. You want to check all 3 devices to make sure that they're all having connection problems. If it's just the tablet and the cell phone, then that tells you it is just a wireless problem. So that will eliminate a lot of headaches and time for you as well. So if it is just a wireless issue, you can move on to step 3. If it's all of them, the desktop and the wireless, then you would just skip over to step 4. Okay, so in step 3, you have determined that it's a wireless issue. So let's just say that the tablet and the cell phone are not getting internet connection. So what you want to do is first go to your settings in each device and see if you have a connection and if there's any prompts like to reboot, to restart, or that you are having an internet connection problem, whatever it is saying. If it's not making any sense and nothing's happening, I recommend to take the device and turn it off and wait a few seconds and turn it back on, and then give it a couple seconds to see if it reestablishes the wireless connection. So that would be my tip for if you made it to step 3 and you realize it is just a wireless connection. If it's not, if you do those things and you see that the connection is still not there on both wireless devices, then you may need to move to step 4 and check on the router, which we will talk about next. Okay, so for step 4, you've checked your cell phone and your tablet that they're still not connecting. Or let's go back and say that none of the devices, your desktop, your tablet, or your phone, none of it's connecting. So then this would lead you to your router. You want to go check the router and see if that is the thing that's having the problem. So for those of you non-techie people, if you don't know what the router is, somewhere in your business or home, there is a box that is your router where your internet comes in. And if you're not sure where that's at, you just need to look and figure out where is the internet coming into my house. It has to come in somewhere. And when you find that spot, you will find the router box. So usually there's lights on there that all signify different things. But instead of getting into all that technicality, and it is different on each device, all you need to know is if you go to it and you've gotten to step 4 and you still had no internet, is I would power the router off and then power it on. Now, some of the newer models, the power buttons may be kind of tricky because they're so sleek on figuring out where the power on and off is. So if you're having that problem, I would recommend to unplug the power to the router and then plug it back in. I've also had times where I've actually done that and then unplugged each wire going in and out of the router. Give it a couple seconds and wait, and you'll see lights changing and stuff. Let it kind of regroup. Just like when we wake up in the morning, we just got to get our bearings straight. Let the router do that. Then go back and check all your devices to see if you now have connection. So number 5 is kind of lengthy because I threw a whole bunch of things into number 5. But basically, before you call your internet provider, you've troubleshot all these steps, which will be so helpful in determining the problem. But number 5, I would first check on social media. Hey, does anybody that have this service provider, are you having issues? If you cannot do that because you have no way to access that, ask a neighbor or somebody around you that if they're having issues. That just saves you a lot of time and aggravation of getting on the phone and waiting and then going through the prompts and talking to somebody and yada yada. So just if you have the ability to do those, I would do that first. And then the last case scenario, I would call the internet provider. Tell them all the steps that you have taken and eliminated and that you still have no internet, and that will help speed the whole process along altogether. So I hope those 5 steps help if you are ever down with the World Wide Web in your business. So till next time, stay awesome.